Jake's boots hit the pavement outside his queen and home, the weight of a 12-hour shift at the Seattle Fire Department still clinging to him. At 32, he's used to the grind, rushing into burning buildings, pulling people to safety, but today was heavier. A family of 4, trapped in a Fremont apartment fire, made it out because of him. The mother's tearful "thank you" echoes in his head as he unlocks the door, expecting the usual warmth of home. Sarah, his wife of 7 years, always greets him with a quick hug or a teasing jab about his smoky uniform. Tonight, the house is quiet, save for a faint clink from the kitchen. Sarah, 30, a pediatric nurse, stands at the stove, stirring something in a pot. Her movements are slow, almost robotic, her focus somewhere else. Jake sets his keys down, waiting for her to turn, but she doesn't. "Rough shift?" he asks, keeping his tone light. No answer. Her phone buzzes on the counter, screen lighting up with a name that stops him cold. Ryan. The message is half visible. "Meet me tonight." Jake's stomach twists. Ryan, her college ex, the one she called charming but trouble when they first met. She swore that chapter was closed, a messy breakup left in the past. So why is he texting her now? Everything okay? Jake tries again, stepping closer. Sarah snatches her phone, her fingers quick, almost guilty. "Yeah, just distracted," she says, her voice flat, eyes still on the pot. "Hospital's been crazy." She tucks the phone into her pocket and turns, offering a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "You're home early. How was your shift?" Her words feel rehearsed, like she's dodging something. Jake hesitates, his firefighter instincts kicking in. He's trained to spot danger, to read the smallest signs. Something's off, but he pushes it down. This is Sarah, his partner, the woman who laughed with him over burnt dinners and planned a life together. No kids, just them. He forces a grin. Saved a family today. Kids were scared, but they're fine. He waits for her usual spark, the way she'd ask for every detail, proud of his work. Instead, she nods absently. "That's great, Jake." Her phone buzzes again, and she glances at it, her jaw tightening. "Who's texting you?" he asks, keeping his tone casual, though his pulse quickens. Sarah shrugs, too quick. "Just work. Scheduling stuff." She turns back to the stove, shutting down the conversation. Jake watches her, the air between them heavy. 7 years of marriage built a rhythm. Quiet nights, shared routines, a trust he thought was unbreakable. But that name, Ryan, lights a fuse. He remembers Sarah's old stories. Ryan's easy grin, his knack for pulling her into his orbit. Their breakup was a storm. Arguments, tears, a door slammed for good. Or so she said. Why is he back now? Jake sits at the counter, his mind racing, but he keeps it steady. "You sure everything's cool?" he asks, giving her a chance to explain. Sarah pauses, her hand still on the spoon. "Actually," she says, her voice too casual, "Ryan's in town. Asked if I could grab coffee. Catch up." The words hit like a jolt. Coffee? With a guy who broke her heart? Jake's chest tightens, but he keeps his face neutral, years of staying calm under pressure kicking in. "Ryan, huh? Thought you two were done for good." His tone is even, but the question hangs heavy. Sarah shrugs again, her eyes avoiding his. "It's just coffee, Jake. No big deal. If it bothers you, I won't go." Her words sound hollow, like she's already decided. Jake nods, swallowing the urge to push harder. "Nah, it's fine." He lies, the unease settling deeper. She's not telling him everything. He feels it in the way she won't meet his gaze, the way her phone stays close now, like a guarded secret. He thinks back to the early days when Sarah would leave her phone anywhere, no hesitation. Now it's always with her, screen down or tucked away. A small thing, but it stings. Dinner passes in near silence. Sarah picks at her food, checking her phone twice, her fingers tapping out quick replies. Jake watches, the firefighter in him scanning for patterns, for signals. He wants to trust her, to believe it's nothing, but doubt creeps in like smoke under a door. After she heads to bed, claiming a headache, Jake stays up, the hum of the city outside their window, a faint distraction. He replays her words, "Just coffee." The phrase feels like a cover, too simple for the tension in her voice. He picks up her phone, left on the counter for the first time in days. The screen's locked, but the preview of Ryan's text is still there. "Meet me tonight, 8 at the Belltown Lounge." Jake's heart sinks. Belltown's no coffee shop. It's a sleek bar, all dim lights and cocktails. Not a place for a casual catch-up. He sets the phone down, his hands steady despite the storm inside. He could confront her now, wake her up and demand answers, but that's not his style. Jake's built a life on trust, on logic, on saving what can be saved. But this feels like a fire he can't put out. He grabs his jacket and steps outside, the cool Seattle night biting at his skin. The city hums, cars, distant sirens, the pulse of Queen Anne streets. He walks, needing to clear his head, but Ryan's name follows him, a shadow from Sarah's past that's suddenly too real. Jake's not a jealous guy, but he's not naive either. He's seen how fast things can burn out of control, a spark, a wrong move, and everything's gone. As he passes a neighbor's porch, the glow of their TV flickering through the window, he wonders if his marriage is already smoldering, waiting for one wrong step to ignite. Jake wakes to the buzz of his phone, the Seattle dawn barely cutting through the blinds. It's a text from Sarah, stuck late at hospital, emergency case. His jaw tightens. Last night's discovery, Ryan's text about meeting at a Belltown lounge, still burns. Sarah's asleep now, her phone tucked under her pillow, a habit she never had before. Jake, a firefighter used to spotting trouble, feels the weight of her lie. He checks their shared calendar, something he hasn't done in months. Blank. No overtime, no emergency shifts noted. Just a gap where her usual schedule should be. The doubt that started as a spark now spreads like wildfire. He heads to the fire station, the rhythm of his morning run through Queen Anne steep streets doing little to clear his head. At 32, Jake's built a life on trust, saving lives, trusting his crew, trusting Sarah. But her vague texts and guarded glances chip away at that foundation. During a break, he scrolls through their old messages. Her usual heading home, love you, has become busy, talk later. Short, curt, evasive. He tries to shake it off. Her job as a pediatric nurse is demanding, but the timing of Ryan's reappearance gnaws at him. That evening, Sarah's home late again, muttering about a chaotic shift. She avoids his eyes, her phone clutched tight as she heads for a shower. Jake waits, the silence of their home pressing in. He opens their shared location app, a safety habit from her night shifts. Her isn't at the hospital, it's in Belltown, at the lounge from Ryan's text. His pulse spikes. He could call her, demand answers, but words won't cut through her lies. He grabs his keys, driven by a need to know, not to accuse. The drive downtown is quick, Seattle streets slick with autumn rain. He parks a block from the lounge, a sleek spot pulsing with music and chatter. Through the fogged-up window, he sees her. Sarah's at a high-top table, laughing, her hand brushing Ryan's arm. He's all charm, leaned in close, that easy grin Jake remembers from old photos. The sight hits like a punch. Jake grips the steering wheel, his training kicking in. Stay calm, assess the situation. He snaps a photo through the glass, the timestamp clear, 7:42 p.m., not a hospital in sight. Sarah's lie about the emergency shift unravels. He texts her, "You still at work?" Her reply comes fast. "Yeah, tough case. Be home late." The words sting, blatant and bold. He doesn't respond, his mind racing. Back home, Jake paces, the photo burning a hole in his phone. He thinks of confronting her, but what would she say? Another excuse? He needs more than a gut feeling. He checks their shared bank account, something he rarely does. Small charges stand out. A coffee shop, a bar, a hotel from 2 weeks ago, all places she never mentioned. Each transaction is a pinprick, confirming her deception wasn't a one-off. It's a pattern, deliberate and planned. The betrayal cuts deeper than he expected, but anger steadies him. He's not the type to lash out. He's a problem solver, trained to act, not react. He texts Matt, an old friend from firefighter training, the guy who always cuts through bullshit with blunt honesty. They meet at a dive bar in Capitol Hill, the clink of glasses a faint backdrop. Matt slides into the booth, sizing Jake up. "You look like hell, man. What's going on?" Jake hesitates, then spills it. Sarah's distance, Ryan's text, the lounge, the bank records. "She's lying to my face, Matt. I saw her with him tonight." Matt leans back, his expression steady. "That's rough, but you're not imagining this. She's hiding something. Question is, what are you going to do about it?" Jake exhales, the question hanging heavy. "I need to know how far this goes, but I don't want to be the guy who blows up his life over a hunch." Matt nods, tapping the table. "Then get proof. Not to hurt her, but to protect yourself. You deserve the truth." Matt's words ground him, a reminder that he's not crazy for doubting her. He's not the one breaking their vows. As they part, Matt claps his shoulder. You're tougher than this, Jake. Don't let her choices mess with your head. The next day, Sarah's back to her routine, acting like nothing's wrong. She mentions another late shift, covering for a colleague, her tone too casual. Jake nods, but her slight hesitation sets his nerves on edge. He decides to test her. He waits until she leaves, then checks her location again. Not the hospital, downtown again, a different bar. He doesn't follow this time. Instead, he digs deeper, pulling up their credit card statements. More charges, dinners, drinks, another hotel. The dates align with her emergencies. Each find is a blow, but it fuels his resolve. He's not just a betrayed husband. He's a man taking back control. That night, alone in their house, Jake sits with his phone, the photo from the lounge staring back. He thinks of Ryan's fiancée, Lisa, a name from Sarah's old stories. If Ryan's cheating too, Lisa deserves to know. Jake finds her on social media. Her profile public, filled with photos of a happy life, vacations, dinners, Ryan by her side. The contrast to his own crumbling world is stark. He drafts a message, but holds off. Sending it now feels too raw, too final. He needs to be sure, not for revenge, but for clarity. The truth is close, and Jake knows it'll change everything. Jake's truck idles in a shadowed lot across from the Belltown Lounge, the Seattle night alive with the hum of traffic and distant laughter. At 32, he's faced fires that could have ended him, but nothing burns like the sight from last night. Sarah laughing with Ryan, her ex, their chemistry undeniable. Her lie about a hospital shift, exposed by her phone's location and the photo he snapped, sits heavy in his chest. Tonight, he's back, driven by a need for answers, not confrontation. His firefighter instincts, assess, act, stay steady, keep him grounded, but the stakes feel higher than any blaze. Sarah's text from an hour ago replays in his mind. Covering a late shift, don't wait up. Another lie, confirmed by her location, glowing in Belltown, not the hospital. Jake's down with doubts. He parks closer, the lounge's neon sign casting a faint glow. Through the window, he sees them again, Sarah and Ryan, at a corner table, heads close, her hand grazing his. The sight twists his gut, but he stays calm, snapping another photo, the timestamp clear, 8:17 p.m. He texts her, still at the hospital? Need to talk. Her reply is quick, with a patient can't talk now. The lie is so blatant it almost makes him laugh, a bitter edge to it. He could storm in, make a scene, but that's not him. Jake's built a life on control, saving people, not breaking things. Instead, he waits, watching as they leave the lounge, their steps quick, almost secretive. They climb into Ryan's car and drive off. Jake follows, keeping his distance, his pulse loud in his ears. The city blurs past. Rain-slicked streets, the glow of Pike Place fading behind. They pull into a budget hotel on the edge of downtown. Its flickering sign, a stark contrast to the upscale lounge. Sarah glances around, as if checking for eyes in the dark, then follows Ryan inside. Jake's heart sinks, but he stays focused, snapping a final photo as the hotel door closes behind them. The image is undeniable, Sarah and Ryan, together, no hospital in sight. Jake's hands shake, not from anger, but from the clarity of it all. 7 years of marriage, built on quiet nights, and shared dreams, fracture in that moment. He types a message to Lisa, Ryan's fiancée, whose social media he found last night. You deserve to know the truth, attaching the hotel photo. He hits send before he can second-guess it. This isn't revenge, it's justice, for him and for Lisa. He drives away, the city's pulse a faint hum, his mind racing with what comes next. Back at their queen and home, Jake sits in the dark, the silence pressing in. Sarah's absence feels like a statement. Her lies a wall between them. His phone buzzes, Lisa, already replying. Thank you. I suspected, but this confirms it. Her words are short, steady, a mirror to his own resolve. She deserves better, and so does he. Jake scrolls through their bank records again, finding more charges, bars, a coffee shop, another hotel from a month ago. The pattern is clear. Sarah's been slipping away for weeks, maybe longer. Each discovery hardens his resolve, but it doesn't dull the ache. He texts Matt, his friend from firefighter training, needing his blunt perspective. They meet at a quiet pier overlooking Puget Sound, the water's steady lap a contrast to the storm in Jake's head. Matt listens as Jake lays it out. The lounge, the hotel, the photos, Lisa's response. "She's been lying for weeks, man," Jake says, his voice low but firm. "I sent the photo to Ryan's fiancée. Felt right." Matt nods, his gaze on the water. "You did good. Not about blowing things up, but about being honest. Sarah's choices aren't on you." Jake exhales, Matt's words cutting through the fog. "What now? Confront her? Walk away?" Matt leans forward, elbows on his knees. "You've got proof. Use it to protect yourself, not to fight her. She's digging her own hole. Don't fall in it." The advice is simple, direct, a lifeline. Jake's not the one who broke their vows. Sarah did. The realization shifts something in him, not erasing the pain, but giving it a place to land. He's not just a betrayed husband. He's a man with choices. The next morning, Sarah's home, acting normal, her phone tucked close as she makes coffee. "Rough night?" she asks, her tone too light. Jake studies her, searching for the woman he married, but her guarded glances betray her. "Yeah," he says, keeping it vague. "You?" She shrugs, muttering about a tough shift, her eyes avoiding his. He lets it slide, not ready to show his hand. Instead, he checks their shared calendar again. Another blank evening, no hospital notes. He texts a colleague at Sarah's hospital, a nurse he knows from a charity run. "Sarah covering extra shifts lately?" The reply is quick. "Not that I know of. She's been leaving on time." The confirmation hits hard, but it fuels him. Jake's done playing naive. He calls a divorce lawyer, a contact from a community event, and sets a meeting. The conversation is clinical, grounds for divorce, asset division, evidence of infidelity. It feels surreal, reducing 7 years to legal steps, but it's necessary. He saves the photos and bank records, building a case, not for vengeance, but for freedom. That evening, Sarah texts about another late shift. Jake doesn't reply. He drives to the hospital, parking where he can see the entrance. At 7:30, Sarah walks out, not in scrubs, her bag slung over her shoulder. She heads to her car, oblivious to him, and drives straight to another downtown bar. Jake doesn't follow. He doesn't need to. The truth is out, and he's ready to act. Jake sits in his truck outside their queen and home. The Seattle skyline, a faint glow against the night. The photos of Sarah with Ryan at the Belltown Lounge and the hotel burn in his phone, undeniable proof of her betrayal. Her latest lie, another late shift at the hospital, disproved by her location at a downtown bar, has hardened his resolve. At 32, Jake's faced life or death calls as a firefighter. But this fire, the one threatening 7 years of marriage, demands a different kind of courage. He's not here to fight. He's here to reclaim his life. Sarah comes home at midnight, her steps quick as she enters the house. Jake waits in the living room, the silence heavy between them. She startles when she sees him, her phone slipping from her hand to the couch. "You're up," she says, her voice tight, forcing a smile. Jake doesn't return it. "We need to talk," he says, his tone even but firm. He pulls out his phone, showed her the photo from the hotel. Her and Ryan, caught mid-step. Her face pales, her mouth opening, but no words come. "You lied, Sarah. No hospital. Just him." She stumbles over an excuse, her voice shaky. "It was a mistake, Jake. Just coffee at first, I swear. It got out of hand." Her words are rehearsed, a plea to dodge consequences, not an apology. Jake cuts her off, holding up a hand. "I checked the bank records. Bars, hotels, weeks of this. It wasn't a mistake, it was a choice." He shows her the statements, the charges glaring. A coffee shop, a bar, a hotel from a month ago. Sarah's eyes drop, her hands twisting together. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispers, "but it's hollow, too late." Jake stands, his firefighter calm, keeping him steady. "You looked me in the eye and lied. For weeks. We're done." Sarah reaches for him, her voice breaking. "Please, we can fix this. I love you." But her words don't reach him. They're a shield, not truth. He steps back, shaking his head. "You chose Ryan. You threw us away." The finality in his voice silences her. He grabs a duffel bag, already packed with essentials, laptop, documents, a few books, and walks out, her quiet Jake don't fading behind him. He drives to a Capitol Hill apartment he rented that morning, a small studio, a clean break from their shared life. The city hums outside, but inside, the quiet lets him think. His phone buzzes. Lisa, Ryan's fiancée, texting again. I confronted Ryan. He admitted everything. I'm leaving him. Thank you for the truth. Her words carry a strength that mirrors his own, a shared resolve to move forward. Jake feels a flicker of relief, not for hurting Ryan, but for freeing Lisa. He deletes Sarah's follow-up texts. Please, excuses, without reading them. They're irrelevant now. The next day, Jake meets his divorce lawyer, a no-nonsense woman from a community event. She reviews the photos and bank records, nodding. Infidelity's clear. Washington's a no-fault state, but this strengthens your case for asset division. The meeting is quick, grounds established, paperwork started. Jake signs what's needed, each pen stroke a step toward closure. He doesn't want revenge. He wants out, clean and legal. Back at the fire station, he throws himself into work, leading a training drill with focus that surprises his crew. Saving lives grounds him, a reminder of who he is beyond Sarah's betrayal. Sarah's life, meanwhile, starts to crack. A colleague at the hospital, tipped off by Jake's nurse contact, questions her about fake overtime shifts. Word spreads. Her reputation as a reliable pediatric nurse takes a hit. She texts Jake, "They're cutting my hours. This is because of you." He doesn't respond. Her choices, not his, led here. He checks their shared bank account one last time, blocking her access to joint funds. The small charges, cafes, bars, hotels, stop appearing. Sarah's scrambling, but Jake's done carrying her weight. He meets Matt at a Capitol Hill diner. The clatter of plates, a faint backdrop. Matt listens as Jake recounts the confrontation, the lawyer meeting, Lisa's text. "She's falling apart, man," Jake says, his voice steady but tired. Keeps texting, begging to talk. Matt leans back, his blunt honesty cutting through. "Let her fall. She built that mess. You're doing the right thing, walking away." Jake nods, Matt's words a tether. "What's next?" Matt asks. Jake exhales, the question settling. "I'm thinking of leaving Seattle. Somewhere new, maybe the coast. I need to breathe." Matt claps his shoulder. "Good call. You're tougher than this, Jake. Don't let her drag you back." The words hit hard, not because they're new, but because they're true. Jake's not defined by Sarah's lies. He's the guy who runs into fires, who saves lives, who chooses his path. That evening, he scrolls through coastal rentals, landing on a small town near Puget Sound. He emails the landlord, a first step. The idea of a fresh start feels daunting, but right, a way to shed the shadow of their marriage. Sarah's final text comes as he packs. "I'm sorry, Jake. I'll do anything to fix this." He deletes it, the act final. Her regret is hers to carry. He thinks of Lisa, now free from Ryan, and of his own freedom, hard-won but real. The city's lights blur outside his window, but Jake's focus is forward. He's not running from the pain. He's moving towards something new, a life he'll build on his terms. Jake's truck rolls along the coastal highway, Seattle's skyline a distant memory in the rearview. The Puget Sound stretches to his left, its waves glinting under a gray Washington sky. At 32, Jake, a firefighter whose face flames and saved lives, feels the weight of Sarah's betrayal, her lies, her secret meetings with Ryan, fading like a storm passing out to sea. The hotel photo he sent to Lisa, Ryan's fiancée, and the divorce papers he signed have cut him free. Now he's heading to a small coastal town, a leased apartment waiting, a new chapter ready to begin. He arrives in Port Angeles, a quiet town where the ocean sets the pace. His studio apartment is simple, but the view of the Strait of Juan de Fuca from the window feels like a promise. Jake unpacks, laptop, a few books, his firefighting gear, each item a deliberate choice to leave Sarah behind. Her final texts, pleas for forgiveness, go unanswered, deleted without a second thought. Her regret is her burden, not his. He walks the nearby beach at dawn, the sand firm under his boots, the steady crash of waves drowning out the noise in his head. For the first time in weeks, he breathes easier. Jake takes a job at a local fire station, handling small calls, brush fires, medical emergencies, far from the high-stakes chaos of Seattle. The work grounds him, its rhythm familiar. He starts volunteering at a community center, teaching fire safety to kids. Their wide-eyed questions and clumsy attempts at stop, drop, and roll bring a rare smile. One afternoon, a boy thanks him with a high five, his small hand firm. The moment hits Jake harder than expected. He's not just surviving. He's building something new. His phone buzzes with a call from Lisa, Ryan's now ex-fiancée. "I'm starting over," she says, her voice steady. "Ryan's out of my life. Your message gave me the push I needed." Jake nods, though she can't see it. "Same here," he says. "You did the hard part." Their shared choice to face the truth, to walk away, feels like a quiet bond. He doesn't linger on it. Lisa's path is her own, but the call reinforces his resolve. Exposing Ryan wasn't vengeance. It was justice for both of them. Sarah's life, meanwhile, unravels. A mutual friend forwards an email from her, meant for Jake, but sent in desperation. It details her spiral, her hospital hours cut after colleagues learned of her fake shifts, her reputation as a pediatric nurse tarnished. She's alone, struggling, Ryan long gone after Lisa left him. Jake reads it once, waiting for anger or pain, but feels only a faint sadness for the woman he thought he knew. He deletes it, the act final, like closing a door. Her story no longer defines his. Jake meets Matt for a video call, the screen flickering as Matt raises a beer from a Seattle bar. "How's the coast, man?" Matt asks, his grin wide. Jake leans against his apartment's bare wall, the sound of waves faint outside. "Better than I hoped. Feels like I'm finding my footing." Matt nods, his blunt honesty a familiar anchor. "You didn't let her break you. That's what counts." The words settle deep, a reminder of Jake's strength. Matt's support, those diner talks, the peer conversations, gave him space to face the truth. But the choice to move forward? That was Jake's. At a local coffee shop, Jake chats with Anna, a teacher he met over a shared book. Their talk is easy, school stories, coastal trails, nothing heavy. There's no rush, no spark yet, just a connection that feels like step. He thinks of Sarah less often, her betrayal a fading echo. The divorce is finalized, the lawyer confirming Sarah's agreement to split assets fairly, the hotel photos and bank records leaving her no room to argue. Jake's share of their savings funds his new start, no strings attached. One evening, he volunteers at a legal clinic, helping a retiree with a property dispute. The man shakes his hand, his grip firm. "You're a good guy, Jake," he says. The words land hard, a contrast to the doubts Sarah's lies planted. Jake's not the man who trusted blindly anymore, but he's not broken either. He's something new, forged by betrayal, shaped by choice. At the community center, he signs up for more shifts, finding purpose in small acts. As winter creeps in, Jake walks the beach, the air sharp with salt. The waves roll steady, their rhythm a quiet companion. He thinks of Lisa's strength, Anna's laugh, the retiree's handshake. The pain of Sarah's lies hasn't vanished, but it's part of a bigger story, one he's writing himself. His phone stays quiet, no more pleas from Sarah. He checks Ryan's social media on a whim. His profile's gone private, posts sparse, his charm dimmed. Jake feels no satisfaction, only closure. During a final call with Matt, Jake shares his plans. Stay in Port Angeles, keep volunteering, maybe explore the trails Anna mentioned. Matt raises his glass again. "To new beginnings, man. You built this." Jake smiles, a real one, the first in months. "Thanks for having my back," he says. "Meant more than you know." The call ends, and Jake steps outside, the ocean air sharp in his lungs. He walks to the shore, the tide pulling at the sand. Sarah, Ryan, the city, their shadows now, fading with each step. Jake stands still, the waves crashing, and knows he's free, not just from her, but for himself.